Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with Trek. Hey man, what is going on in the world today? I got a few clips that are gonna let us know what's going on, but before we get into any of that, make sure to smash that like button for me, smash that hype button, and smash that subscribe button if you're not part of the iTrack fam. Let's not even waste time, let's get into it.
President Trump says he is directing the government to release any files related to aliens and UFOs. President Trump posted on Truth Social last night saying he's doing so, quote, based on the tremendous interest shown. That announcement comes days after former President Barack Obama made some headlines for comments made on a podcast where he said he believed aliens are real. President Trump later criticized the former president for sharing what he called classified information.
Well, if all it took was tremendous interest, I think we've had tremendous interest for decades now.
Meet Jessica Cox, an Arizona woman who made aviation history. She's the world's first armless pilot, and now she's getting ready for a brand new plane built just for her, flown entirely with her feet.
The world's first armless airplane pilot, as well as the first black belt in the American Taekwondo Association to do so without the use of arms.
Born and raised in Arizona, Cox says what once made her self-conscious became her greatest strength.
The fact that I do cause curiosity, some attention, is actually my greatest gift, and a gift that I can learn to be proud about.
She's now been flying with her feet for 17 years.
The plane that I'm flying right now is called an Ercoupe. It's a 1946. It cruises at about 85 miles per hour.
That's why she's preparing for what's being called the impossible airplane. It's faster, roomier, and of course, custom built.
That it will literally be like a custom shoe that I slip my left foot into to control the yoke.
The plane arrives this summer, and Cox plans to use it to inspire kids without arms around the world.
That disability doesn't mean inability is what my nonprofit is all about.
Hey, she is the epitome of no excuses. Literally. Like, there's nothing in this world that you can't do if you don't put your mind to it. Because of her, you don't have any excuses not to be where you want to be in life.
Listen up.
Gillen? Do I know you? You know Gillen?
No, sorry.
No? I used to order hella pizza off of her.
Oh, really?
She always delivered, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yes, that was exactly who you thought that was. This is Maxwell. If you look at the woman in the video, it's the same woman. When he said her name, she actually looked. Same bridge of the nose and same spacing in the teeth. Even AI says it's the same person. The guy with her in the video is her brother. Looks exactly the same. We already know through the PDF files that J.E. did not hang himself. He was removed the day before. And guess who was president at that time? And they want us to believe that the woman they moved to a luxury prison, this person is that person. Nope, she's living her best life in Ontario, Canada. And how was she able to do this? Through the same administration that let J.E. leave as well. Sometimes I wish I wasn't awake because the information that we receive is just mind-blowing. It is absolutely mind-blowing how corrupt our government is.
This is gonna sound fake at first, but owls do not actually have eyeballs. If you stare down most animals, like a dog or a goat or this baby koala, they all have eyeballs that are spherical. But when you look at an owl, you may not be able to tell from the outside that this is not the type of eyes that are in their face at all. Because unlike humans that have eyeballs, owls have eye tubes. In order for an owl to see good enough in the dark, it needs eyes that are super wide, but if they were full spheres, there wouldn't be enough room left in its skull for a brain. So the owl's eyes are cylindrical tubes that take up way less space, but can still let in enough light to hunt at night. And if you don't already follow me, I make videos about little details like this that are way more interesting when you take a closer look.
Would you believe me if I told you that these were fleas on the snow? It might look like just black flakes of pepper, but if you look closely, you will see that they are indeed moving. They are called snow fleas, and you will commonly find them on a warm winter's day, congregated in little holes and puddles in the snow. This is 100% real, and it is something we see every winter. They end up in ice fishing holes and footprint holes and the grooves from the track of the snowmobile. And once they're in there, they can't get out, and that's why they end up being so clumpy like this. And if you are wondering, they are around in the summer. You just don't see them because they blend in with the dirt.
Fun fact of the day.
A 2014 study found that more attractive cyclists tend to perform better in the Tour de France.
Federal secrets. She has said that there is evidence of interdimensional beings that can operate through the time spaces that we currently have, which is obviously going to catch a lot of people's attention. Anna Paulina Luna, thank you very much, Congressman. It's good to have you with us today. I want to go back to that. You told Joe Rogan in a podcast in August when you were discussing all of this that you have viewed evidence of interdimensional beings here on Earth and that they operate through the time spaces that we currently have. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, I think that a good example would be some of the photo visual evidence that we've seen directly in some of these classified briefings that will now be made public. One of the famously now, infamous videos that we showed in one of our hearings was actually a video that was dead dropped to Eric Burleson, who's a member of Congress from within the Department of War, and it shows a UAP, an unidentified air phenomena, deflecting a Hellfire missile. This was taken off of ISR footage off the coast of, I believe it was Yemen. So long story short, there have been briefings that we've received as Congress that leads us to believe that yes, there is definitely an advanced technology out there that's not created by mankind. And yes, of course, we've seen other evidence where it could potentially be UAPs, and then we later find out that there's drones, but there is a certain amount of evidence that we simply can't explain.
Massive surprise blizzard is set to slam the US, with these states expected to receive the most snow they've had in decades. Meteorologists drastically revised their original forecast of only a mild wintry mix into a full-on blizzard after a storm moving up from the mid-Atlantic coast began rapidly intensifying. As a result, officials have issued emergency warnings urging states to immediately begin preparations for 18 to 24 hours of continuous snowfall consisting mostly of wet and heavy snow, the kind that sticks to roads and power lines. The blizzard is expected to begin late Sunday night, stretching through the entire day Monday, with many states impacted, including Rhode Island, Lower Connecticut, and Long Island expected to receive more than 17 inches, Boston, Massachusetts expected to receive 14 to 17 inches, New York City expected to receive 12 to 14 inches, and Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Porto Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Michigan, and Ohio all expected to see 3 to 10 inches of snow.
Hey, to all the iTrack fam on the East Coast, man, take precautions, and we are definitely sending prayers out to you.
What do we look like from an ant's perspective? Height-wise. OMG, it's Brandon. Alright, we gotta do some math here, so giddy up. We're talking about a height comparison. These ones are a half-inch long, quarter-inch. Doesn't matter, we're talking about height, and an average ant's only about 2 millimeters tall. You take 2 millimeters tall for an ant. Average human's about 5'9". Convert that to millimeters and you get about 1,800 millimeters. That means a human's about 900 times taller than the average ant. An ant looking up at us is equivalent to us looking up at something that's about 5,400 feet tall, which is about 2 times the size of the largest building in the world. Compare that to Godzilla, it's about 300 feet tall. That means we don't look like Godzilla to an ant. We look like 18 Godzillas stacked on top of each other to an ant.
I'm going to say this on every podcast till the day I die. Your Wi-Fi router that most people keep under their bed or under their desk at work emits the exact same microwave frequency as a microwave oven. Microwave radiation passes through our body at a rate of 1 quintillion times more than 1950. That's a 1 with 18 zeros after it every second. There are, in fact, 5,500 peer-reviewed published studies showing a biological effect from microwave radiation on our bodies. Our antioxidants can't keep up. That can lead to DNA damage and stress on the body. Microwave radiation is like one of the best ways to manipulate human biology.
Most people I know don't keep the Wi-Fi router in their room, but if you do, just know you're getting cooked.
This is what happens when you never take your ring off, but gain 150 pounds, and the ring becomes a permanent part of you, with tissue growing all the way around the back end of that. It's going to be terrible to remove. Oh.
Well, would you looky here? Iran says that the US is being controlled by tall, white aliens. Why didn't I say Iran? I don't feel like messing with y'all today. Savannah Guthrie, is the whole world being controlled by aliens? The world is controlled by Satanists. What do Satanists do? They worship Satan, the fallen angels, and the demons, which are the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. Really simple. So we have Iran that says we're being controlled by tall white aliens, and then we have ex-government in Israel saying that the US is working with aliens.
Aliens or demons, I saw it on a video.
Could you calm down for a dang minute? By the way, this picture came from Mexico. I've been telling y'all for literal years that what is going to happen in this great deception, this greatest deception, is a good cop, bad cop, with the white tall aliens are going to be the good guys supposedly, and the grays are going to be the bad guys. And the whites are going to help us take out the grays. Get it? Arrival, we've been seeing these things literally everywhere. So absolutely, of course, they're working with these evil beings. And yes, they are evil. Seeing a lot of people on Twitter try to claim like they're not evil. But at the same time, coming from someone who studied whistleblowers that passed away after they talked and read hundreds of declassified documents spanning almost 2 decades, I can tell you they're not just demons. This is a great massive deception. There's blue beams gonna be active, there's fallen angels, there's demons, and then like I always try to tell y'all, there are flesh suits. Please hear me, I've proven this over the past few years. There are biological creations under our feet, and they hold the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim, the demons. But it's not only the flesh suits, we also have things coming through walls, interdimensional creatures, and we also have holograms. There's a lot of different stuff. And US ships are calling UFOs. And all the people on Earth are working with and worshiping these things. I'll make a long YT video in 1 hour proving all this in great detail. See you there.
Ever since we've all been made aware of Project Bluebeam, it kind of seems like they're just waiting to see how much of that documentary we actually are going to take serious.
What is going on?
But it also takes a lot of energy to train a human. It takes like 20 years of life and all of the food you eat during that time before you get smart. And not only that, it took like the very widespread evolution of the 100 billion people that have ever lived and learned not to get eaten by predators.
Let me show y'all a few movies that are basically documentaries. You have The Society from the 80s showing you that everybody in the industry is connected together. We have another movie from the 80s, They Live. The government basically telling you they're not who you think they are. There's plenty other movies in the 80s, but here we go to the 90s, Coneheads telling you that your neighbors may not be who you think they are. We got another movie in the 90s, The Men in Black, telling you that many people around you may not be who you think they are. Then we get to the 2000s with Cabin Fever, tells you that a lot of water gets contaminated, the government knows about it, and keeps it quiet. Then we have another movie in the 2000s, The Bay, about contaminated water in small towns from feces. Government knows about it, says nothing. We all know about the Hunger Games. Literally, entertainment for the rich. Once again, The Maze Runner, another form of entertainment for the rich. Watching people go through crazy objectives. For what? Y'all know there's many more I could have named, but those are documentaries to me. Those aren't movies.
I mean, the vast majority of all movies ever made have hints of predictive programming and hidden truths in them, and it's pretty obvious.
Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein, is his legal next of kin, and he didn't find out from anybody official that his brother had died. He found out from CNN. So Mark, feeling something is amiss, he hires Dr. Michael Baden to observe the autopsy. He noted 3 fractures in Epstein's neck, and he stated that in his decades of reviewing jail suspension, he had never seen 3 fractures like that in what was ruled a self-unaliving. There's no public record of cremation, which means technically, if he wanted to, Mark Epstein could request an additional autopsy. He could even have Dr. Baden oversee it again. So I do find myself wondering, why hasn't that happened? Now, I'm not saying that means something sinister, but when you publicly question the findings and you have the legal ability to pursue another examination, it's a fair thing for people to ask about. I keep seeing talks of people saying, why are Americans still obsessed with this case? Because this Jeffrey Epstein case hits differently. This was someone connected to powerful, wealthy, well-known people, institutions we were taught to trust. And when someone like that dies in federal custody under layers and layers of weird circumstances, people don't just move on.
And you know what? She's right. The majority of people want to say, oh, stop talking about him. You're glorifying him. Or how about we're actually trying to figure out what really is going on? They would love you to be asleep and just forget about it. But the majority of truth seekers want to know the real answers.
This will blow your mind. In a world's first, researchers at Osmo Labs have achieved the teleportation of smell. I mean, do you realize how crazy that is? Let me put it this way. So, as of right now, humans have only figured out how to teleport two of our senses. Sound, with the telephone or speakers, and images with the screens that we look at all day. And we've done that because we've discovered a way to capture those senses digitally and then turn them into data that we can then send instantly. But now they have managed to do that with smell. So hypothetically, once they're able to replicate this process on machines outside of the lab, not only one day could you send someone a smell like you send them an image or a voice note. Oh my lord, the businesses that are gonna come out of that one, I'll let the comments handle that. But also, and here's the craziest part, they say that by digitizing scent, they've effectively given computers a new sense. You better wake up in 2030 and your iPhone's gonna tell you you stink. Go get a shower. Now, the first smell they ever digitized was fresh plum. They captured the scent molecules in a digital format and then reprinted the exact same smell on the other side of the room, which came out looking like a regular clear liquid. And I guess that begs the question, what's gonna happen to all of these expensive colognes once you can immediately reproduce them? Osmolab's CEO on Twitter said, "Holy moly, I am still processing the magnitude of what we've done."
Hey, now that is beyond interesting, and we got to take a deeper look.
Used AI to digitize and rematerialize the essence of a plum. What we've done is we've cut a plum here, and we're going to put it into a vial where the scent that's leaving the plum is being trapped inside of this vial. And then what we can do is take this vial to a machine which can suck the air outside of this vial, which contains the smell of the plum, and then analyze those molecules one by one. And when we have that, we can then take that formula and then reprint it. If we've done the whole process correctly, the thing that ends up reprinted, which is just going to look like a clear liquid, is the distilled essence of the scent of a plum you've just cut into. And if they smell the same, it means that we've actually given computers a new sense. And the sense of smell is effectively the way that we turn the air around us into data.
What does it smell like?
Like the plum.
The world around us is changing so quick, man. I would have never thought in a million years that they'd be able to transfer smell. That's wild.
New evidence suggests fruits and vegetables make up 99.5% of the plastics we consume. A meta-analysis of 193 studies by the University of Amsterdam found that fruits, veggies, and grains likely account for the majority of the 50,000 microplastic particles adults now consume every day. That's up to 500 times more than estimates from just a few years ago. Another study by the New England Journal of Medicine found microplastics embedded inside the arterial plaques of heart patients. Those with plastic in their arteries were 4 times more likely to suffer a heart attack, stroke, or death. The soil our food grows in is saturated with it, and farmland actually receives up to 23 times more plastic pollution than the ocean. Plants then absorb plastics internally through their roots where it ends up in our food. We shouldn't stop eating these staples, but we can prepare them differently, like soaking and peeling them before eating when possible, switching to non-toxic cooking equipment, sweating out plastics in the sauna, and using glass bottled spring water or reverse osmosis water to rinse your produce. And do your best to choose food without them. Track and test for microplastic exposure on the Oasis app, where you can search your food for hidden plastics. Farmed salmon test to be the most toxic in the world. Farmed salmon was tested at grocery stores across the US and found polychlorinated bisphenol levels 16 times higher than wild salmon and 4 times higher than beef. PCBs are a group of man-made chemicals that were manufactured from 1929 until they were banned in 1979. And when ingested, they never break down, increasing the risk of things like immune and metabolic damage. Additionally, 9 out of the 10 samples failed the EPA safety limits, some exceeding them by 4.5. Now, we're referencing a study that was done over 20 years ago, but no one has conducted a comparable US retail study since. And the FDA hasn't updated their safety recommendations since 1984. A more recent study found that mice fed farmed salmon gained twice the amount of body weight, and even Atlantic salmon by Trader Joe's is still farmed. Always choose wild caught and check the Oasis app for the latest seafood testing.
Hey, once I found out they were feeding those salmon pellets to turn them pink, I was good. I don't want no more salmon now.
People always ask me how I stay so youthful. I tell them I eat well, get plenty of rest, and every third Sunday I drink the blood of a virgin. And these days, they're getting harder and harder to find.
I eat children.
Oh.
How old are you?
12.
12. Oh, okay. Only to 10.
Only
Okay,
to
that's
10.
good.
Okay, we are safe.
That's good.
Children and pineapple.
Children and
pineapple.
If the person okayed it, I would eat a human
If you were at a very fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat.
No. I think the only way
You wouldn't try a tiny bite?
No.
Really?
Absolutely not.
Wow, that looks great. Thank you. What you want in a pancake is to have the consistency of young human flesh. It's spongy, it has life to it. You're with a guy with brightly colored undergarments, and you got soft human flesh in front of you. You're in a weird place. I'm looking forward to this. This is really, really going to be a great pancake.
Can you tell us a secret about Steven Spielberg? He eats babies. Whole babies.
We are not defunding the police. We have
Are
not.
there people who, in the Democratic Party, who want to defund the president?
Are there people in the Republican Party who think we're sucking the blood out of kids?
I'm not sure. Are there people in the Democratic?
So AI systems are doing pretty much everything we currently call work. Anything you might aspire to, like you want to become a surgeon, it takes the robot 7 seconds to learn how to be a surgeon. That's better than any human being.
Elon said last week that the humanoid robots will be 10 times better than any surgeon that's ever lived.
Quite possibly, yeah. Well, and they'll also have, they'll have hands that are, a millimeter in size, so they can go inside and do all kinds of things that humans can't do. And I think we need to put serious effort into this question. What is a world where AI can do all forms of human work that you would want your children to live in?
My cat has AIDS, and yes, it really is a thing. Cats can contract AIDS. Feline immunodeficiency virus is a virus that is lifelong once a cat is infected with it. This virus weakens a cat's immune system and makes them susceptible to secondary infections and illnesses. The good news is that it is species specific, so it cannot be transmissible to humans or anything that is not a cat. The even better news is that FIV cats, positive and negative, can live together as long as all cats are non-aggressive and docile. This is because FIV is not easily spread. It is spread through deep bite wounds or a mother cat passing it to her kittens. FIV negative and FIV positive cats are able to play together, bathe each other, share the same litter, all of those things, and it will not transmit. So the next time you meet an FIV kitty at a shelter or you hear about them, just remember these 3 things. FIV is not transmissible to humans, FIV positive and FIV negative cats can live together, and they can live long and healthy lives. Comment down below if this is your first time hearing about FIV or if you have any other questions.
So nobody and nothing is safe out in these streets. I mean, I never knew cats were able to get that. That's pretty wild.
Children that have been being born now for the last couple of decades are not just a new generation. They're, technically speaking, genetically speaking, a new species of human. They are an uplifted species of human that has more capability of making those energetic and spiritual connections. They don't forget as much of who they are coming into physical materiality. They remain strongly connected to spirit, and they're guided more easily that way. So yeah, I think that a lot of the children being born today will be the ones who will sort of lead the way to this future.
And this is the reason why Freemasons do initiation rituals. They are not doing it for symbolism or tradition. They are doing it to create a specific psychic effect on the individual who is joining Freemasonry. Initiate is blindfolded at the center of the lodge, while all of the other higher degree Freemasons surround him. Higher degree Freemasons are intentionally focusing their willpower, intention, and thought all towards the center initiate. The collective energy of thought and willpower progressively intensifies and creates a cyclical vortex in the mental and cyclical atmosphere. This collective energy, directed by the Freemasons to the initiate, creates a permanent implant on the initiate's psychic field and mind, and the initiate becomes mentally charged and psychically linked to the collective thought form of Freemasonry. This all stems from the teachings of Kabbalah and deep occultism using the powers of the human mind and thought forms, also known as egregores. And the way you can use thought forms and create your own to generate a reality is...
So Bill Clinton says this almost 20 years ago, but people still think it's too far out that there could be clones among us. And before anyone says that this is AI or something, you can go see this original clip on YouTube. He did indeed say this. And this was following the cloning of Dolly the sheep. Check this out.
I'm asking for a voluntary moratorium on the cloning of human beings until our Bioethics Advisory Commission and our entire nation have had a real chance to understand and debate the profound ethical implications of the latest advances. As we gain a fuller understanding of this technology, we must proceed not just with caution, but also with a conscience. By insisting that not a single taxpayer dollar supports human cloning, and by urging a moratorium on all private research in this area, we can ensure that as we move forward on this issue, we weigh the concerns of faith and family and philosophy and values, not merely of science alone.
So how sure are we that this moratorium stood the test of time, let's say? Of course, I'm unaware of any official cloning that's going on, but it is interesting that 20 years ago, he said, don't do it to humans. But let me know if you think this technology exists in the comments below, and follow for more.
If you were paying attention to Bill's body language at all, you could tell he was looking kind of nervous as he gave that speech.
I bet you didn't know what makes Friday the 13th so unlucky. During the Last Supper, the 13th guest to arrive was Judas, who betrayed Jesus. It's when Loki, the god of mischief, crashed a banquet in Valhalla, bringing the number of gods in attendance to 13. Deceived by Loki, a blind god was tricked into shooting his brother, the god of light, joy, and goodness, with a mistletoe-tipped arrow, killing him instantly. Friday is the day that Eve ate the forbidden apple. Friday is also when Cain murdered his brother Abel, the day the Temple of Solomon was destroyed, and the day Noah's Ark set sail. The word Friday comes from Day of Frigg, the queen of Asgard, and a powerful sky goddess. They deemed the women who worshipped her witches, and when Christianity took over, Frigga was banished. She was sent to a mountaintop and labeled a witch. It was said that every Friday, this witch would collect a coven with 11 other witches and the devil himself, equaling the number 13.
I'm gonna show y'all how it really be in your face. That's a reptilian eye and the Taco Bell symbol. I never looked at it like that till today, until somebody pointed it out in the comments. Yo, it's supposed to be a bell. Why the inside of it look like a reptilian eye? Symbolism everywhere.
I went with this one guy and he looked like a lizard. I was so scared. He was sitting there, I was like, oh my God. I was like, holy shit, he looks just like a lizard. And I had to go. It was really bad.
So you just left? Wow.
Hey, Brittany was letting us know all along. Hey, them reptilians be around.
Antique Roadshow Reptile. In this video, captured on camera, it is a regular episode of the BBC show The Antiques Roadshow, when, in the background, the camera captured a man staring at the camera. His eyes appear pretty large, being opened quite wide, and if you zoom in, it looks as if his pupils have slits. His eyes resemble a snake's eyes, revealing that he is obviously a shape-shifter snake. He doesn't appear to be with anyone, just hanging in the background, smirking at what he's observing. It's crazy to see this on camera, but I wonder if anyone has actually seen this in person. My suspicious brain would probs not even believe anyone, even if they did claim that they saw this in real life. I'd be like, show me that proof, or nothing. I'll just be sad.
Exploring the mill when she saw something truly horrifying.
It's in the fermentory area where there's these like ovens. They look like you put bodies in. It was a man, a full apparition face, and then you could actually see the eyes. But what scares me the most is that one of the eyes looks like it's vertical, like a reptilian.
And you saw that so close and detailed that it looked like his eyes were reptilian.
Yes.
And vertical.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's scary. In our experience, an entity with reptilian eyes is most likely demonic.
I remember being on a table. The entity I remember is very, very tall. The face was exactly like a praying mantis. And it moved its head in very jerky-like manner. And I'm pretty sure, just in my own heart, that that's not the first time in 1965.
There's one being in particular that I always recognize, and he's not a gray. He's taller, he's thinner, he's got a bigger head, He's got bigger eyes. His limbs are very praying mantis-like. I remember being on the table with my head turned away, not wanting to look at this creature. And then when I looked at him, I just recognized him as the one that I hated. You find yourself on a table and these creatures around you with instruments, and you have no idea what they're doing, and they don't tell you.
This is the tomb of the Sumerian king known as Gilgamesh. Now, Gilgamesh was believed to be an alien hybrid, and y'all look how perfectly preserved this body is. Now look at this. Draped in gold, which the Anunnaki was believed to have needed gold. To the Sumerian people, this was their god. Look how preserved the body is. And it was crazy in this video. Watch how his eyes open.
Just a few days, NASA is sending humans farther from Earth than ever before. This is the second of 3 planned NASA missions to go back to the moon, with the real goal of eventually establishing a moon colony. After takeoff, the crew will start a 10-day journey, first traveling around Earth in high orbit. During that time, astronauts will check the ship and test life support and navigation and communications, and then they'll start a 4-day trip to the moon, traveling nearly 500,000 kilometers from Earth. And then they'll swing around behind the moon, going 13,400 kilometers farther than the Apollo 13 record set back in 1970. This will allow them to test the radiation shelter. It's basically like a fort that they build to protect them from solar storms, and observe the far side of the moon for future missions. And then using the moon's gravity, they'll swing back around toward Earth for what might be the most dangerous part of the mission, re-entry. This is where they'll pierce through the atmosphere at 40,000 kilometers per hour, the heat shield protecting them from temperatures half as hot as the sun. And if all goes well with this Artemis 2 mission, the third and final mission will have humans landing back on the moon for the first time in 50 years. If you want to see that, follow along.
Now we got Starlink, so that whole thing should be televised. We should see streaming evidence of it all.
You may not even notice them, but tiny electronic labels are slowly being introduced to stores. Sometimes they're even designed to look like paper labels, but they're actually pretty controversial. Critics are worried that these labels, which connect to a broader computer network and can shift prices at a moment's notice, could enable dynamic pricing in stores. Dynamic pricing is the practice of raising prices during periods of high demand and lowering prices during periods of low demand. Dynamic pricing is now pretty common online, but some people say that these labels now threaten to bring dynamic pricing to brick-and-mortar stores. Back in 2024, Elizabeth Warren and Bob Casey, 2 senators, sent a letter to Kroger's to discuss that company's implementation of these labels. The company defended itself, but Elizabeth Warren told me that she's still concerned about the practice. Here's what she said in a statement. Economists say that the reality is more complicated. There are a variety of reasons why a store might need to suddenly raise prices. Those could include tariffs, inflation, or rising costs from suppliers. Stores might also be looking for a way to make sure that the prices they're offering online match what they're offering on the aisle. And while these tools certainly make it easier to raise prices, they also make it easier to lower them, and quickly. One of the best use cases seems to be in grocery stores, where food is often about to go stale, and sale is an easy way to get rid of them. In terms of the research, the jury is still out about whether these tools actually create an increase in surge pricing. In the end, the arrival of these labels is a reminder that while we're used to seeing screens with changing prices in some contexts, like airline tickets or ordering an Uber, in other places we still bristle at the idea, like, say, the grocery store. Have you seen any of these electronic shelf labels out in the wild yet?
I personally haven't seen any just yet, but if you have, definitely let me know in the comments.
He'd been tidying it for over an hour when, without warning, the car radio suddenly turned on. The song that began playing was Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel, a hit from 1976 by Tavares. Because of copyright, we can't play the audio here, but the lyrics are on screen. What makes this moment far more unsettling is this. The keys weren't in the car. There were no electronics running, yet the radio suddenly blared out this particular song.
Keys.
Confused, Trisha searched the vehicle, thinking she must have left the keys somewhere nearby. But they weren't there. She walked back inside the house and found the keys sitting on the kitchen bench.
How?
How? How?
For Trisha, the moment carried enormous weight. She has lost 2 children in the past, and hearing that song at that moment felt less like coincidence and more like a message.
Welcome to what might be the coolest flight I've ever been on. Check this out. Yes, that is the ground 35,000 feet below us. The whole floor is glass. You can see the coastline and little patches of farmland through the clouds.
I'd actually prefer them to just have LCD screens up than to see a glass floor.
Humans are being controlled by a demonic, parasitic race called the Vril. Now, this is a theory that I came to know about by following a YouTube channel called Autodidactic. Toxoplasmosis is carried by cats, and around 60% of humans actually have it. Toxoplasmosis severely increases the chance of humans having depression, ADHD, OCD, aggression, neuroticism, and that's just a few of them. Another fact is that parasites are most active during a full moon. And studies have shown that during a full moon, people tend to be more anxious, more depressed. Crime is committed during a full moon as well. So it's almost as if the parasites inside the people are causing this chaos during a full moon when they are most active. Egyptians worshipped cats. Egyptian headdresses look like this. Now, I don't know about you, but this looks a hell of a lot like some kind of parasitic worm that's sticking out of the headdress of all of the royals in the Egyptian pharaoh families. Why does every single celebrity seem to have a black eye? Is there something going in their eye? In the TV show Stargate, what they show is that it's the parasite who is running things and using the human body as almost like an avatar. Just wanted to show you a picture of Stargate and with the new Neuralink logo. Then there's the saying, as within, so without. And if you look at parasites underneath a microscope, I find it very strange that they look very demonic. And a lot of people with depression, I myself have suffered from depression, you get these intrusive thoughts. And the last thing I wanted to just mention, I can't say the name out loud, but there is a machine that pushes out certain frequencies, and the claim is that these frequencies will kill the parasites. And many people who have used these machines say that these machines have cured them of things that their doctors have told them are incurable.
Now that actually might be a viable conspiracy. If you look at the faces of those parasites, man, the ugliest things I've ever seen. Well, you guys, that's another one in the books, man. I appreciate you guys for always stopping by, watching and learning with me. If you haven't already, you know you gotta smash that like button, hit the hype button for me, smash the subscribe button. If you're not a part of the iTrack fan, man, we're trying to run these subscribers up and hit at least 200,000 by December, man, so let's go for it. And as always, I will definitely catch you on the next one.